Welcome to the Midnight Library. I see you found your way here, despite the hour. Tell me, what time is it where you are? And where are you listening from?
It was almost 11 at night. When my wife Ellie stepped out of the shower, her hair was damp, clinging to her neck, and she moved slowly across the bedroom, exhausted from the long evening. The only light came from the small lamp beside our bed, casting a warm golden glow over her tired face. She sat down at the vanity, scrolling through the donation records from the charity gala we'd hosted earlier that night. Her fingers trembled slightly as she scrolled, double-checking every number. She'd been remarkable tonight. Her speech had captivated the entire room, her voice breaking as she talked about our daughter, Claire, the one who disappeared 10 years ago. The guests cried with her. They donated generously. The foundation in Claire's name had become one of the most recognized in the past few years. But as Ellie put down her phone and crawled into bed, I saw the change in her expression. The look she gets every time Claire's name comes up. She lay on her back, staring up at the ceiling. Her voice was soft. "Do you think she'd even recognize us now?" I turned my head toward her. She didn't blink. 10 years, she whispered. If she'd just come straight home that day, if she hadn't stayed out with her friends. Her voice trailed off, and then came the tears. I wrapped my arms around her. She sobbed into my chest, her body trembling. I told her the same words I always did, that we'd keep looking, that it wasn't her fault. Lies she needed to believe. And eventually, she cried herself to sleep. When I was certain Ellie was asleep, I slipped out of bed and padded down the hallway. The glow of my laptop filled my study with a cold blue light as I sat down and opened the foundation's portal. The donations were already flooding in. Thousands upon thousands of dollars pouring in from strangers, schools, local businesses, even billionaires who adored Ellie's resilience. I should have felt proud. We'd built something meaningful, something that gave hope to families like ours. Ellie had poured her entire soul into this charity. But I couldn't help noticing how comfortable life had become. The lavish dinners, the expensive suits, the respect we were given everywhere we went. Grief had made us powerful. I shut the laptop abruptly and glanced at the clock. 3 a.m. already. I got up quietly, grabbed my coat, and slipped out the back door. The neighborhood was dark, silent, not even the sound of a car passing by. I drove through empty streets, the soft hum of the engine the only sound. The further I went, the darker it became. Streetlights disappeared. Houses thinned out until there were none. The road narrowed, lined with towering trees that swayed in the cold wind. The farmhouse came into view at the end of the dirt path. It looked like it had been abandoned for decades. Paint peeled off its wooden frame, and the front porch sagged beneath its own weight. Most people wouldn't even slow down if they passed it. I parked the car, grabbed a carton of milk from the passenger seat, and a small paper bag of bread rolls. My footsteps crunched on the gravel as I walked toward the door. The key turned easily in the rusted lock. The air inside was heavy, stale. It smelled of old wood and mildew. I didn't bother turning on the lights. The floorboards creaked under my weight as I moved down the narrow hallway, heading straight for the stairs. The basement door was heavy. It groaned when I opened it, the hinges screaming into the silence. I stepped into the darkness. The smell hit me instantly. Rust, damp concrete, and something else. Something metallic that clung to the back of my throat. In the far corner, a girl lay curled up on a thin, filthy mattress. Her hair was tangled. Her frame was so small, so frail, that for a second I didn't recognize her. But then she looked up. Her eyes met mine. "Dad," she whispered. Her voice cracked. "Please, let me out." Her voice was so weak. I crouched down, placing the carton of milk on the floor, then tossed the bread toward her. The rolls scattered across the cold concrete, one rolling right to her trembling hands. She scrambled to grab it. Her eyes followed me as I stepped backward, one hand on the doorknob. "Please, Dad." I closed the door. The lock clicked into place. The drive back was quiet. The night felt heavier now. The mist from the road clung to my windshield as I drove back into town. When I got home, the sun was just starting to rise, bathing our neighborhood in pale morning light. Ellie was stirring in bed as I walked in. She smiled sleepily when I placed a bag of pastries on the kitchen counter, my excuse for being out so early. I kissed her forehead gently. What a beautiful wife. What a beautiful lies.
Another chapter closed. Leave the candle lit in the comments and tell us what part of the story stayed with you.